This one is fine, Jyoti.
Yeah, this is the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, definitely. Yeah, Dharmatma. So soon he becomes a Dharmatma. Shashvat Shantim Nigachati. So not only the virtues, there's a peace also. Kaunte prati janihina me bhakt parnashyate. Soon he becomes righteous, a Dharmatma, attains eternal peace. O Arjun. Then he says, Prati Jani, he means know for certain. Because sometimes a little doubt comes in our mind. Can it really happen? So that's why with this very powerful word, he says, certainly know that my devotee is never destroyed. Na me bhakta parnashyate. Never gets destroyed. And what is the destruction? Destruction is a disconnection from God. But when we have that kind of established a relationship to that level, then there's no disconnection. And when there's no disconnection, there's no fear. No matter what is happening, no fear. There's a blissful feeling, regardless of the circumstances. So what do we need to do? Develop a relationship like that. Keep God in mind and get everything else out. Okay, everything, just only God. So that's what he's saying over here to us. So if you have any questions so far, because last time we did few verses, and if you have studied those, if you have a question, you can raise hand, and otherwise we'll start with the verse number 32. So it's a pretty great path of devotion. And in the next verse, Lord Krishna is telling us everybody is eligible for it. Everybody. Not just only certain castes, certain gender, certain economic successful people. No, everybody. So he says, repeat after me. I know even though you all cannot say, but some of you are unmuted. So say that with me, please, or after me. Mam hi parth vyapashrite.
Mahi Parth Vapashite.
Ye api sayu pap yonaya.
Ye api asanu papayonaya.
Istriyah vaishya tatha shudraha.
Istriya Vya Tatha Shudrya.
Te api yanti param gatim.
Yanti param gatim.
Mam means me, he means indeed. Parth is Arjuna. Vyapashrite, taking refuge in. Ashraya lene ke baad. Ye means who, api even, see you, maybe. Pap yonya, the inferior birth or sinful birth. Istriya, women. Vaishya, the traders. Shudra, the serving class. Te means they, api means also, yanti, attain, paramgatim, the supreme goal. This is one of those verses, if we take it literally, we are not understanding it properly. Okay, a lot of people, they criticize Bhagavad Gita or Lord Krishna because they just understand it only literally. But let's try to understand it in its deeper significance, what Lord Krishna is telling us over here. First, the direct translation. For taking refuge in me, they also, who may be of a inferior birth, women, traders, as well as Shudra, even they attain the supreme goal. Is he talking about just like, for example, a woman, it is a woman body? No, he's not talking from the point of view of body or the social status over here. it is more of a mental makeup. When we talk about women, what are we saying? What is their mental makeup? Or a feminine mind? Feminine mind have a larger share of deep affection and binding attachment. It could be a male body, but when a person is attached, that is called a feminine mind. So that's what he's talking about. He says, even if you had a mind like this, but now you are joining your mind with me, you are becoming a devotee to that level, then of course you will become a dharmatma too. Because whole sadhana is about the state of mind, not the physical body. So those are the istriya. That's why the women, they are normally considered that they are attached to the children. They'll do anything for the children. So female mind. And who are the Vaishya? The traders. They have a commercial mind. Money is in their mind. All their thoughts, all their actions, they just, in their mental life, it's always money. What will I get out of it? How much will I make? How much do I have? So now that kind of a mind, if there's a God in there, then it's a dharmatma. And the same way the Shudra is considered like a service class. They want to do only for the result. What do I get out of it? If somebody is watching, they'll do a better job. If nobody's watching, they won't. So kind of a laziness is in them. So Lord Krishna says, even a Shudra, when becomes my devotee, can become dharmatma and will attain that peace. So Shudra mental attitude is considered a slothfulness or a slumber. Vaishya mental attitude is mainly attachment to the money. And the women basic mental attitude is attachment. So this is what Lord Krishna is saying to us, that because of some psychological or intellectual debilities in certain people, he says that can be cured also. That can be steadily strengthened also if they walk the path of devotion diligently. So with a single pointed mind, sincere devotion, they learn to remember God continuously and meditate daily on the divine self. So work we have to do, sadhana we have to do. So we cannot say that we are women or we are business people. No, we can keep on doing all what we are supposed to do, but where is our mind? We can take care of our children, grandchildren, but our mind can still be connected with God. We can be a good mother or we can be a good business person, but mind can still be connected with God. So the whole journey is a mental journey over here. Okay, so any question on this? Anybody? You all understand it fully? Good, good. I'm glad. So now in the next verse, he talks about the Brahmins and the Rajrishi who have already elevated their personality to upper level. How much easy it is for them. And basically, Lord Krishna is talking to Arjun over here because Arjun has those qualities of a Brahman also and a Rajrishi also. So he says, Kim punaha brahmanaha punya.
Kim punaha brahmanaha punya.
Bhagata Rajrishya tatha.
Bhakta Raj Rishya tatha.
Anityam asukham lokam.
Anityam asukham lokam.
Imam prapye bhajasva mama.
Imam papya bhajasvamam.
Kim punaha. How much more? Brahmana, the Brahmins, like a scholar. Punya, holy. Bhagata, devoted. Raj Rishya, the royal saints. Tatha means also. Anityam, impermanent. Asukham, unhappy. Lokam, the world. Imam, this. Prapye, having attained. Bhajasva, worship. Mam means me. How much more? More over here, like easily, than the holy Brahmins and devoted royal saints attain the goal. Having reached this impermanent and joyless world, do worship me devoutly. So in other words, a person who were already attached to the people or to the money or to the laziness, if they start walking on this path, but a person who is already walking on the path, so he says how much easily that person can become a devotee of that caliber. Because preliminary stages that person has already crossed. Later on we will learn the qualities of a Brahman. Brahman is a predominantly sattvic person. Raj Rishi, even though he is a king, but he is not attached to the kingdom. So it's already gained that few steps, earlier steps, has already crossed those. So he says for those people, and basically he's telling Arjuna, because Arjuna being a prince also, but he is, we can see from the quality of the questions he asks, and plus Lord Krishna knew him. They were cousins also, that what caliber Arjuna was. So he says how much more than the holy Brahmins and devoted royal saints attain the goal. Having reached this impermanent and joyless world. This world, whether you're a king or you're a pauper, it is impermanent. See, we don't think about it often enough. We think, no, this is very permanent. But right now we are going through this, we can see that. We are witnessing something that how impermanent this is. Even the freedom to go out, freedom to meet our loved ones. We thought that nobody can take it from us. But something which we cannot even see has taken it from us. So impermanent and joyless. Because we often think that joy is in this world. But if we think about it deeply, where is the joy? The source of the joy is right here. That's why sitting in our own homes, we can be so joyful. We can be so blissful. Because source is right here. We got to just learn how to connect with the source of joy. That eternal fountain of joy. Okay, outside joy, it's impermanent. It ends. So he says, you have already reached to a higher level. You got to just push yourself to further. And how do we do it? Because we are no different than Arjuna actually. People like us who have taken refuge in it, in studies like this, and living a life which is more disciplined. So that means we are already on this path. So what else we need to do? In the last verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna is giving us this as a summary. He says, Manmana bhav mad bhagta,
Manmana bhakta,
madhyaji mam namaskuru,
madhyaji mam namaskuru,
mam eva eshyasi yuktava,
माम एष्यसि
युक्ता
युक्तो
एवं आत्मनम मत्परायणा
एवं आत्मनं मत्परायणः
manmana, with mind filled with me. So he is not saying only 50% filled it to the brim. Mind filled with me. And me over here means God. Brahm. Absolute. Whatever name you want to give. This me is that. Bhav means be. Mad Bhagta, my devotee. And we all know devotee means a lover. And this, nobody has to teach us how to be a lover. So he says, just become my lover. Okay? Nobody taught us how to love our children. Nobody taught us how to love our body. It is very natural instinct in human beings. So now we got to just, he's teaching us, instead of loving everything else, love me. Mathyaji, sacrificing to me. And sacrificing means doing the actions for God. The fruit of the actions, that's what we are sacrificing. Normally we do actions for the fruits. Fruits, he says, do it for me. Mam means to me, namaskuru, bow down, namaskar, prostration, surrender. Next line, Mam means to me, Ev means alone, Eshyasi, you shall come. Yuktava, having united. See this yukta and yog, it's the same thing. It's a union. Evam means thus, Atmanam, the self. Mat Parayana, taking me as the supreme goal. So Lord Krishna is saying in the concluding verse of this chapter, fix your mind on me. And we all know what mind is, right? Last time we were talking about mind is that part of our personality which thinks. Mind is the one, right now, we are sitting comfortably, there's nothing to be afraid of, but all of a sudden we see something, hear something, we become afraid. Who becomes afraid? Mind does. So he says, instead of taking the mind anywhere else, fix your mind on me. So now we have to see how many minutes, how many hours a day our mind is fixed on God. The more it's fixed on God, more peaceful it will be, more blissful it will be. Right? So fix your mind on me. That is number one. Be devoted to me. Be my lover. Because when we love something or somebody, we just keep on thinking about that. So that is the second thing we got to do. Mind goes somewhere else, bring it back to God. That's why we use the forms of God. That's why we use the name of God. Those are all means to connect with God. That's why often I say that in your home, every room have some kind of a symbol of God. It could be a picture of God, picture of your Guru, some mantra written, whatever it is, so that you look at it and right away your mind get connected to the God. So fix your mind on me, that's number one. Be devoted to me. Sacrifice unto me. So no matter what action you do, whether you're cooking or cleaning, taking care of somebody, taking care of yourself, you're doing it for God. When we are doing it for God, then what is there to worry about? It's not for you. You cooked a great meal. Nobody said thank you. Why do you need a thank you? You didn't cook it for them. You cooked it for God. Bow down to me. Surrender to me. And we have talked about surrender many, many times. One thing in surrender is whatever is happening, It's for your happiness. Right? All my desires, I just surrender it to you. No matter where you keep me, how you keep me, I have surrendered. So we got to raise up to this level. You remember that story from Mahabharata? During that war, there was a time Arjun did not want to kill Bhisham Pitama. And without killing Bhisham Pitama, Pandavas could have never won. And here Duryodhana, he just kept criticizing Bhisham Pitama. You are fighting from our side, but actually your heart is on Pandavas. You are being very prejudiced over here. So then Bhisham Pitama said, okay, tomorrow night, either I'll die or he'll die. Because Arjun was the main person over there. The strongest, the best archer. So he made that kind of a oath. So here this news went everywhere, on the Pandava side, on the Kaurava side also, that tomorrow is going to be decided. That kind of a war will have. Middle of the night, Lord Krishna woke up. He said, Arjun must be very disturbed. I should just console him or just go there, look at him. I am his charioteer. Is he sleeping or not? So he goes towards the Arjun's tent, and right from outside he could hear Arjun snoring. He just went in there, and Lord Krishna told Arjun that you are sleeping. Haven't you heard what's going to happen tomorrow? Arjun said, if you are worried for my safety, why do I need to worry about it? That's why, so that is a surrender, right? Total surrender that God is with me. The Krishna is with me, right? So that's why that kind of a surrender, that kind of a faith we should have, right? So we got to, this is a good test for us. Do we have that kind of a faith right now? Are we constantly worried? Are we peaceful? Are we doing what we are supposed to do? Are we meditating more? Are we doing a deeper level of sadhana or not? So fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice unto me, bow down to me, having thus united your whole self with me. And whole self really over here means the total antakaran. Mind also, intellect also, ego also, chit also. The total antakaran, the whole subtle body. Normally, we know how to surrender the physical body, but over here he's talking about the subtle body, antakaran. Taking me as the supreme goal. What will happen? You shall come to me. Because we want to, this is the goal. Since this goal has to be clear to us, that we want to unite with God. We want to become the soul which has been separated from the supreme soul. We want to become one with that. So he says, this is the prescription. So having stressed bhakti or devotion, love for God throughout this chapter, Lord Krishna is concluding with this verse, so that we become this level of devotees. So he is asking us through Arjun to unite our consciousness with God in true yoga,
Hershey, can I
By
just stop for a
worshipping,
minute?
sure, by worshipping him and engaging the mind in meditation upon his divine form and offering every action to him. Yes, Jyoti.
Sujata says, can you reiterate the steps?
Yes. Number 1, fix your mind on God. So more and more. So that means you got to be watchful of your mind. Okay, fix your mind on God. Become a lover of God. Do all your actions for God. Surrender to God. And make sure that your supreme goal is God. So this is the prescription. And by doing this, he says, you shall come to me. So we need to do this. How do we do it? Right now, maybe we cannot do 24/7, but during prayers, we should definitely do. During meditation, we should definitely do. During our yoga practice, Hatha yoga practice, definitely do. So even if we do it 3-4 hours a day, pretty soon we'll see that what kind of a peace we have when we are thinking about God versus when we are thinking about something else. Then it will become our second nature. Then no matter what is happening around, we'll be connected with God. We'll know that God is the one who is in charge. There's nobody else in charge. There was a beautiful video I watched yesterday. Somebody was, I'm sure you guys might have seen it too. Plane full of people going through a big turbulence. Have you seen that? But that's a going through a turbulence, and the pilot announces that we are going through a big storm. We don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's worried. They're all sitting like this. There was one young girl, totally relaxed. And after half an hour, turbulence was gone. Everything was fine. They landed. And during that time, this young man was looking at the girl. She never wavered. She never had any fear or sign of fear on her face. And this young man asked her later on that, why were you so relaxed? You know what she said? Pilot is my father. Who is the pilot of our life? God. Right? So we got to just have full faith in God. And this is what this verse is all about. Have full faith. So, Sujata, the steps are clear now?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Where is Sujata?
I'm right here. Yes, thank you.
Is clear?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, she said yes, Hershey.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Anybody else? Any question? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay. So constant awareness, maintained diligently, is the secret of success. Okay. Just remember that. So we know the prescription. Now we have to just apply it in our lives. More and more. Because he says, he's promising us. He said, if you do this, you shall come to me. You will attain the ultimate goal. Because we are what we are because of our thoughts. And the whole thing is about thoughts, the mind. So the sadhana is with the mind. If the thoughts are noble and divine, we become noble and divine. Okay? So that's what he's asking us to do. So if you don't have any other question, we can start the next chapter then.
So would you say that our experience of ourselves is because of our thoughts?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. That is because most of the time, we see that outside everything is fine. Our mind is the one which creates the mischief. It just takes us to the very low level. Mind. So connect with God. That's what he's telling us to do. Okay? So he's assuring us. It's a big assurance that this kind of a communion will happen with Bhakti Yoga. And definitely the result will come. We don't have to worry about the result. We have to just do our part consistently. Okay? So now if you look at it, the last chapter, which is chapter 9, last verse of this chapter is a connecting verse with the next chapter. The person who cannot see God everywhere, where do we really see God? Because when he said, fix your mind on me and do all the actions for me also, how do we really bring this kind of a philosophy into our daily life? So to clarify this a little bit, he just gave us further instructions in the next chapter. And the chapter name of this chapter is Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means the power, the lordship, the pervasiveness. That is Vibhuti. See, this limited intellect, this limited mind cannot really comprehend that God is everywhere. So that's why in this chapter, Lord Krishna is telling us, giving us examples where we can really see God. So it's like that one in many. So he'll give us 75 different examples in this chapter. I am here, I am here, I am here. Pick anything. Just do the sadhana for your mind, whether it's in the feet of a guru, or in the hand of a guru, or even in a toenail of a guru, or sun, or the moon, or the tree, or the river, wherever. But see God in there though. That's why you are familiar with that story of Dhanna Jat. He saw God in a stone. In a stone. So God is everywhere. We got to just intensify our practice. So now he says, Bhuya eva mahabaho.
Bhuya eva mahabaho.
Rinu me paramam vacha.
Shunu me param vachaha.
Yatate priye manaye.
Yate ham priyamanaye.
Vakshyami hit kamaya.
Vakshyami hit kameya.
Lord Krishna is saying this. See, just look at the effort Lord Krishna has made to explain. He did not stop it there, that fix your mind on me. Now he's just going through it in more detail for us. He says, Bhuya. Bhuya means again. Ev means verily. Mahabaho. Mighty armed. That is for Arjun. He's reminding him that you are a strong warrior. Shrinu. Shrinu means hear. Me means my. Paramam, supreme. Vacha, word. Yat means which. Te means to you. Priya manai. who is delighted. Vakshyami will declare to you. Hit kamya, wishing your welfare. So Lord Krishna is saying again, O mighty armed, listen to my supreme word, which I, wishing your welfare, will declare to you who are delighted to hear me. So first of all, student wants to hear. And Lord Krishna sees that Arjuna wants to hear this. So he says, you are delighted to hear my words. I will tell you further. See, just like as parents, if our children listen to us, we want to give them more advice because we have lived this life a little bit more than them. But if they don't want to hear, we say, okay, all right, I'll keep my advice to myself. So over here, Lord Krishna is telling Arjun that you are delighted to hear my words and I will tell you. And why do I want to tell you? For your welfare. So it's not parents' welfare that they give advice to their children. Over here, it's not, Guru is telling not for himself. He is telling us because he has our welfare in his mind. So he clearly says, hit kamya, for your welfare. Okay? So I desire your welfare. Okay? So again, O mighty armed, listen to my supreme word, which I wishing your welfare will declare to you, who is delighted to hear it. Okay? And why did he decide to continue his discourses in more detail? He says, Na me vidu surgana,
Na me vidu surgana,
prabhuvam na maharishya,
Prabhuam Nam Harshaya,
aham adi hi devanam,
Aham Adihi Devanam,
maharishi nam cha sarvasha.
Harshinam Cha Sarvasha.
Na means not, me means my, vidu means no, K-N-O-W. Surgana, the hosts of devas. Prabhavam, origin. Na means not, Maharishi, the great rishis. Aham, I, Adi, the beginning. He means for Deva Nam of the devas. Maharishi Nam of the great rishis. Cha means and. Sarvasha, in every way. Neither the hosts of the heavens nor the great rishis know my origin. Why? Because in every way I am the source of all the devas and the rishis. Again, this is one of those verses which we need to understand philosophically, not literally. So who are these devas and who are the rishis? There are 5 devas. And what are those devas? I'm sure most of you know. The earth, the water, the fire, the air, and the space. Those are the devas. The 5 basic elements. So neither the hosts of the heavens nor the great rishis. So 5 devas. Normally it's called Saptarishi. Saptarishi means 5 devtas and Mahat and Ahankar. Ahankar is the ego. Mahat means it's congregate mind and intellect, combination of that entirely. So that's called a Saptarishi. So you can use all the Devatas, all the 5 elements, elemental forces. And in our body, we have all those elements. You think the elements can know God? Or the intellect can know God? Or the ego can know God? A father knows about the birth and the life of his son because he witnessed it. Sons, they don't know it. So Prakriti is a son or the daughter of God. So offspring cannot know the parents' origin. So that's why he says neither the hosts of the heaven nor the great riches. In every which way, I am the source of all the Devatas and the rishis. So whatever we see, the Prakriti in whichever form, it has come out of God. God is the source. Only God knows, not us. So in other words, God is the efficient as well as the material cause of all creation. So he says, I'm going to tell you this. So sometimes we think that we can study a lot, remember a lot, or memorize the whole Bhagavad Gita or the Vedas will know God. That's not how we know God. How do we know God? The very last verse of the previous chapter. Surrender to God. Sacrifice for God. Offer all your actions for God. Connect your mind with God. Love God. That's the way to do it. These are just the means. When we study something like this, these are the means. But the practice comes in that level. Okay? So then he says, Yamam ajam anadim
Yamam
javeti lok maheshwaram
Veti Lok Maheshwaram
asamudaha samriteshu
Asamura Mateshu
sarva pape pramuchyate.
Sarvapapai Pramuchate.
So now Lord Krishna is saying that some people do know him by virtue of his grace. Ya means who, ma means me, ajam means unborn. See, ja means something is taking a birth. Ajam means unborn. Anadim, a beginningless. Cha means and, Veti knows, Lok Maheshwaram, the great Lord of the world. Asamudaha, undeluded. Sa means he, Mriteshu, amongst the mortals. Sarvapapai, from all sins. And in yogic philosophy, what is a sin? Sin is any kind of obstacle on this path is a sin. Parmuchyate is liberated. He who among the mortals knows me as unborn and beginningless, as the great Lord of worlds, he is undeluded and is liberated from all obstacles. Because in the previous verse, he said, nobody can know me. He just clarified it over here that it's not that nobody will know me, but if our sadhana reaches to this level, where we really understand this, we experience it, then we will know it. But just with our ego or with our intellect, or we think that we have the best body right now, those are not the ways to know God. To know God is by practice and by uniting. So he who knows me. So don't take it merely literally knowing or just emotionally sweeping or intellectually comprehending. It is a true and spiritual apprehension. Okay. So intimate identification with God. See, that's what love is. Love is really when you start identifying yourself with somebody else. That's a love. So over here he says, start identifying yourself with me. And he says, among the mortals. So that means as a human being, we can know. So this philosophy doesn't say that as a mortal you cannot know. Only as a mortal will know. But we got to know that he's unborn. Unborn means, see, because when we say somebody is born, that means that person will die also. Unborn means there's no birth and no death, it's eternal. Always was, always will be. And right now too. And beginningless. And great Lord of the world. Everything has come out of him. And undeluded. See, delusion is at the level of mind. Whenever the mind is disturbed, it's deluded. So we got to just put enough knowledge. That's why we study. That's why we do this Swadhyay. So that the delusion is gone. See, delusion means doubt. And whenever there's a doubt, that means we have not understood it. So he says, just cultivate these qualities. That God is beginningless and everywhere. And what are the qualities we need to cultivate to know God? Next two verses, word by word, he is giving us those qualities. Because we are the students. We still need to learn, and while learning, cultivate these qualities too. He says, Buddhi Jnanam Asammoha.
Buddhi Jnanam Asammoha.
Kshama Satyam Dama Shama.
Kshama Satyam Dama Shama.
Sukham Dukham Bhava Abhavaha.
Sukham Dukham Bhava Abhava.
Bhayam Cha Abhyam Eva Cha.
Bhayam Cha Abhyam Eva Cha.
Ahimsa Samata Tushtihi.
Ahimsa Samata Tushti.
Tapaha Danam Yasha Ayasha.
Tapaha Danam Yasha Ayasha.
Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam.
Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam.
Mata Eva Prithak Vidha.
Mata Eva Pratigada.
Okay. Buddhi. Buddhi is intellect. Ability to analyze things properly. That's called a buddhi. We have learned previously also, and we'll learn more in the future also. This intellect can be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. First, we got to just make sure that we make our intellect sattvic. That from there, we don't want to leave it there. We want to make our intellect, what is the term? The arch buddhi. Then beyond that is a pragya. So it's like keep on inching up, making it a very subtle intellect. Sure, a sharp intellect is needed too, but sharp intellect is used for this material world. But subtle intellect is needed to see God everywhere. Sharp intellect can analyze the Prakriti better. Subtle intellect will look at the Prakriti, the God in the Prakriti also. So Buddhi, the power to analyze, the power to discriminate. See, right now, the Buddhi is the one which tells us, wash our hands properly. Keep a little distance, 6 feet of distance from everybody. Don't go out unnecessarily. And then what do we do with all this time? Do the sadhana. Take this opportunity. right? This is the time for us all to become rishis. Rishis. We can do the sadhana. The opportunity has been given to us. Either we can just worry about it and be afraid and think that, gosh, we've been imprisoned. No. Don't feel lonely. Just connect with God. Okay? So buddhi comes into the picture. Jnanam. Jnanam is the wisdom. Ability to discriminate spirituality from materialism. That is a jnana. Asamoha. Absence of confusion. Kshama. Ability to forgive. Satyam. Truthfulness. Damaha. Self-restraint. And this is always a dumb word is used, the restraint of the senses. My eyes should see whatever I want my eyes to see. Should have a control over my ears also, control over my taste and the tongue also. Dham. And sham is the calmness. And calmness comes with the control of mind. So dham and sham, they go hand in hand. A person who has worked on the dham, the restraint of the senses, will definitely have a peaceful mind. And a peaceful mind is able to control the senses better too. So they help each other. Sukham, the joy, delight, happiness. Dukkham is the opposite of that, pain. Bhavaha. Bhava is the birth, existence, I am. Abhava, non-existence, death. Bhayam, fear. Abhyam, fearlessness. Ev means even, cha means and. Next verse number 5, ahimsa, non-injury. Samta, equanimity. Tushti, contentment. Tapaha, austerity. Danam, charity. Yash, fame. Ayash, ill fame. Bhavanti, arise. Bhavaha, qualities. Bhutanam, of beings. Mataha, from me. Ev, alone. Prithak vidha, of different kinds. Intellect, wisdom, non-illusion, forgiveness, truth, self-restraint, calmness, happiness, pain, birth or death, fear, and also fearlessness. Non-injury, equanimity, contentment, austerity, giving, fame. In fame, all these different kinds of qualities of beings arise from me alone. So Lord Krishna is saying, he's continuing with this great idea that the Lord is the material cause as well as the efficient cause for this world of polarity. So it's the force, he's the force, he is the energy behind all this, within and without the individuals. So that's why he's enumerating in these two verses, number 4 and number 5, the various qualities expressed by the mind and intellect of a man, of a person. Often we talk about creation only. Over here, he is talking about all these qualities also, that he is the source of all the good and bad nature in living being. See, just like electricity supplied by the powerhouse, being used by various gadgets, and that gadget could be helpful and gadget could be harmful. It's not electricity's fault. It is the kind of a gadget we use that electricity in. So we'll talk more about this. I want you to study these verses deeply. And next Sunday, when we get together again, if you want to give your input, we'll start with that. And then we'll start with number 6 and move on, just like we do our regular studies at the ashram. So anybody question, you can raise hand. Yeah, Sujata.
You know something? I had a question about Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam. You hear that? Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam. Doesn't it sort of sound like it might be past, present, and future? Hello?
Over here, it's not the past, present, or future. He's just saying that all these qualities, bhav over here means the qualities. Okay, so all the qualities are arising from me. So in this verse, that's all he's saying. He's not talking about the past, present, or future.
Okay.
Even though that is true also, past, present, and future, everything is under the domain of God. But over here, he says, see, Bhavanti is arise, Bhav means qualities, Bhutanam means beings. Bhut means beings. Yeah, all the qualities. These are the qualities we have. And where are they coming from? From God. That's what he's saying. Okay? Anybody else? Yes, Kim.
When you were speaking about the buddhi, you said the intellect can be sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. So you said first make sure it's sattvic, and then you mentioned 2 Sanskrit words, but I didn't.
Yeah, those are like in English. In English, you can understand after sattvic comes, it's like a divine. It's even beyond sattvikta. Okay, and then after divine comes intuition, where you are connected with God. So those are like a different degrees of purity.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see, like a tamasic will be my intellect, where I think I am better than others, and I want to just hurt others with my higher, whatever I have. Rajasic is sure, I'm aware that I have a higher intellect and I want to boast it off. Arrogance. Sattvic is that intellect is the same. It's the same in everybody. Then from there you go up that, hey, with that intellect, I want to help somebody. That's a Devik. Even if it hurts me, I want to help somebody. That's a divine. And then higher than that is intuition. It's called intuition, pragya. We are connected with God. No me and mine. It's all his. Okay, so it's like a working on this part of our personality. See, everything other than the soul and God is changeable. We can work on it. We can go down or we can go up. So consciously, we want to just keep on doing the practice so that we go up. See, just like a body, we want to keep the body safe. We want to keep the body healthy. We want to eat the proper food. The same way the mind also. We want to have the better thoughts in our mind. Then intellect, we're going to make the better decisions also. And then ultimately, with all this, how we want to identify ourselves. That's the ego in us. Do I identify myself with the Atma, or do I identify myself just with my physicality? So this is the sadhana we need to do. So is that clear, Kim?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no, do ask questions whenever there's a word which you don't understand, or somewhere you can disagree also, and we can talk about that too. That's how we study at the ashram. So that's exactly how we're going to study during these weeks also. So anybody else?
Sujata,
Reshma, it's so nice to see you. Reshma is, if you know, she is dialing from India.
Wow.
She is Manju's sister. Yeah, you're all familiar with Manju's Manju Malhotra. So nice to see you. Yes. Anybody else? If I did not mention your name, but I can see you all, it's so nice to see you.
That's
Thanks.
fantastic.
Thanks for connecting me.
Was it little better today? You could hear it better?
Very for me, you're asking me.
I'm asking all of
Reshma?
you.
It
great.
was really
Yes,
clear.
Reshma.
Very, very clear.
Oh, very clear. Okay,
Very,
all right.
very clear.
All right,
Very
good.
clear.
Thank you, Hersh, for everything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do the
Thank
Shanti part. Let's do the Shanti part, and after that, if you wanna leave, you can leave. But if you want to stick around, we can have more chit chat also.
Oh, Hershey, I have another question.
Sure.
I think tomorrow is Guruji's birthday.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Tomorrow, 30th, Guruji's birthday. Thank you for reminding me, Kim. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a Havan in the ashram. And I will put on a Facebook Live. So if you want to watch that.
Okay.
Would you like to do that?
Yes. What time?
yes.
What time?
Good, great.
What time we should do it? I think I'll do it in the evening, the same way we do Thursday Havan. So
Right.
6:15. That way you guys can be done with your snack time or lunch, dinner time, or
Dinner, finished with dinner.
Dinner.
dinner, or yeah. So keep the same routine. That's another suggestion I have. Wake up at the same time which you normally do, and all day long just to stay disciplined. That's what a yoga student does, right? It's not that we're gonna get lazy now. No, we're gonna just become better yogis now. Okay.
Hershey,
So tomorrow,
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
yes, Tripat, I can see you too today. Finally.
Thanks. Mera ek question hai. So in the second verse, he said that neither the gods nor the great sages know the secret of my origin. है ना? Then in the
Yes.
third verse, he says, he who knows me as unborn and beginningless, as the great Lord of the... So my question is, don't these sages, if they have become great rishis, aren't they part of this where they have become sinless and they have become purged of all sins, and they've become in that category where they are aware of the origin, well, not the origin, but whatever he is trying to say.
See, that's why I mentioned when I explained it over here, this Maharishi or the Devatas, he is not talking about those human beings who know him. Devatas really means the 5 senses which we have. So we cannot know him with our senses. And when he talks about the rishis, he is talking about our man buddhi chitta ahankar.
Okay, so
he's not talking about the human beings. He is not talking about the Saptarishi like Vishisht Muni and the Bhardwaji and Vishwamitra. No, he's not talking about those over here. He is talking about only the 5 elemental forces and the subtle body. So with the subtle body and this elements which this physical body is made up of, we cannot know God.
एक और question है, ठीक है?
Sure.
वो question है जहाँ पे where he talks about women, right? That women, So my question is that in those days, Dwapar में या Satyug में या Treta Yug में, most of the women who were doing sadhana were doing it with their husbands. So rarely you can cross a woman except for Kunti and Draupadi and some of the वो जो Radha वगैरह, his गोपियां वगैरह, है ना? So most of the women were not doing sadhanas by themselves until and unless they were, जैसे गौतम की wife हल्या वगैरह इन लोगों ने जैसे किया था. So could not it be at that point, he's stressing the point that women who are out there can also independently become my devotees and reach me, not just the mental part of it, but women as a sex, because he's describing 7 kinds of people, the Brahmins, the Shudras, the Kshatriyas, the evil people, unko agar count karo to there are 7 kinds of people he has described.
Yeah, but he will not, I cannot imagine Lord Krishna calling women or Shudra or Vaishya as a pap yoni.
No, it's not pap yoni. What I'm saying, pap yoni.
Because he does mention, that's the word he used, pap yoni. So that's why, to me, I think it's a mental attitude or intellectual comprehension he's talking about. And it could be in a male body, it could be in a king also, but it's like a more of a mind, because the whole yogic sadhana is about the mental sadhana.
No, but my question, I'm not arguing with you. My question is that pap yoni wale alag factor hai. They are a separate entity. So Brahmins, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya, women, pap yoni wale, and then the last one, there were 7 of them, I counted. तो मुझे लगता है जो पाप योनि वाले हैं, they are a separate entity by themselves, not that these women Shudra Brahman or they are part of that. So क्योंकि एक verse में पहले भी, I think in 4th chapter he says even the one who has done a lot of pap at the end of his life, if he realizes me, he can still become part of me, है ना उसमें. So here, could it not, I'm just asking you that, could it not mean that women have never tried independently to become sadhakas, and they can, that there is no limit to my grace, that I will grant them that grace, that once they independently try to.
Yeah, it could mean that way, but we really don't know in the history. We cannot say that it was always women never tried it separately. I'm sure there were some women separately they might have, but how do we take this for ourselves right now? That we got to just let go of these lower attachments. Okay, that's how I understand it. But there are so many, I mean, the way the verses are written in Sanskrit, there's always more than one way to understand it. So I'm not saying yours is wrong, but to me, I think there are a lot of women alone also, they did do the sadhanas. They did come a long way back then also, because no attachment with this, whether it's the offsprings or whether it's the relatives or whether with the anything else. So physical body, the gender does not make any difference.
Right.
Okay, so let's do the Shanti part so that people who want to leave, they can leave. And then the rest of you, if you want to talk more, ask more questions, I'm here for you. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you very much. It was really nice being with you.
Yes.
As usual.
Very, very.
And tomorrow definitely 6:15 we'll do the Havan, just like we do it on Thursdays. And this will be for Guruji's birthday. And I'll make prasad, but I'll have to just eat it all.
Unless you show up at the ashram.
Yeah. So now our next class is Tuesday at 12:30. So if you want to join that, that's a Ramayan class. And then Thursday Ashtavakra Gita. And pretty soon we'll have a meditation class also on Zoom.
That would be nice. Yep.
So nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Robert, no question.
Thank you very much.
Today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, take care.